I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review. There's another paid request, this time for Joseph. And it's for a film called Boss Level from 2021. And for those interested in requesting any type of reviews, topics, reactions, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, pretty much whatever, feel free. You can send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Boss Level is a film I had heard of, but did not get to see until now. And I enjoyed it. So this would be another film to put on the list of films I liked in 2021. I would go Nobody, Willy's Wonderland, because I was a sucker for that. Then this film, and then Run, Hide, Fight. Now, yes, it's directed by Joe Carnahan, which I'm not a big fan of that director. I don't like the A-Team. I'm not big into Smoking Aces. I'm not big on The Gray. I'm sorry. I like Liam Neeson's performance, but the movie itself I'm not a fan of. But this was fun. This was a fun movie. It has this little bit of issues here and there, but overall, what this is, it's in the vein of Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, stuff like that, where it's about a guy repeating the same day over and over again. Definite video game reference. I mean, the movie begins with an opening select screen like an old school video game where you have your lead, Frank Grillo, that's another big plus, and then like all the other like mini bosses you could select, like your 8-bit select screen, or maybe 16-bit select screen, kind of like you would see in old Mortal Kombat for Super Nintendo. That was a nice touch. And it does this thing where like the first 20 minutes is very energetic, adrenaline pumping action. Then it slows down to tell you the story of what's going on. And there's still some nice bits of action, nice bits of humor. Overall, it was a fun movie. It was an entertaining story. Yeah, I would not put it above Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow, but it's still in that vein. And I'm a sucker for those stories as well. The same day repeating over and over again. There's a TV show I have over here called Daybreak, starring, I forgot his name. Taye Diggs. Sadly only lasted for 1 year, but I thought that was a pretty good story about a cop who has to repeat the same day over and over. There's an episode of The X-Files called Monday, which did that. One of the better episodes of that season of The X-Files. You know, there's been other movies that have done that too. But yeah, it does have a nice energy to it. And Frank Grillo, he's definitely I would say the best part of the film. I like Frank Grillo as an actor. Whether it be in The Purge, Anarchy. Even films I'm not a big fan of, I thought he did a good job in. Like the Skyline sequel. He was good. I just didn't care for Beyond Skyline. I think that's what it was called. But here where every day he wakes up, and immediately as he wakes up, an assassin tries to kill him, and you see him nonchalantly hitting him and fighting this guy who's got a machete and knives, and he's throwing coffee on him, and he knows the moves, and then the helicopter shows up with a minigun, and he throws a knife in the guy's head, and this is like the 140th time he's gone through this. And he's jumping out, and the building explodes, and he talks about, a little bit of what's going on, and you know how hard it is to jump down to a truck. That shows the point where he missed and he died, and then it shows like these guys have been trying to kill me, and it shows like a death highlight where this lady keeps cutting his head off, and each time she cuts his head off, she says the same line. I forget her name, but I am this, and I have done this. And that's the point that it gets annoying. This is the part where he gets like harpooned and dragged back, and the rest of the cast, you have Naomi Watts as his wife. Naomi Watts was in the Ring remake and Peter Jackson's King Kong. Mel Gibson is your villain. Also, one of the henchmen is Will Sasso from Mad TV. He played Curly in the Farrelly Brothers Three Stooges movie. I'm like, is that Will Sasso? Okay. Michelle Yeoh's in it. She's not in it too long. She's in it for maybe 5 minutes. Still nice to see her. I wish she was in the film more, though. Ken Jeong is in it. Thankfully, he's not in it a whole lot. He's in it as a bartender. But yeah, the first 20 minutes is pretty action-packed. Some of the effects are not the best. You can tell they didn't have the biggest budget, so sometimes the CGI enhancements in certain bits, like I said, are not the best, not the most finessed. But I mean, it was enough to ruin it for me. Like, there's a bit where he's being chased by these two ladies in a minivan, and he's able to get the gun from them and blow them up. And there's some practical explosion, but there's some CGI enhancements. Again, not the best. And Frank Grillo, like I said, he's the guy that keeps this movie going. Like, he gets to a bar each day, and at one point he's getting so drunk, he's telling, you know what? You know what's crazy? This one time, I tasted... How did he word it? He's like... Something about... I tasted something. I realized I was tasting my own tongue, because it was heated by the bullet that entered my brain, like, entered my head. Like, this bullet entered my head, and the bullet heated my tongue so much it tasted like steak. And of course they think, wow, this guy's crazy, but it's about all the times he's been shot over and over again. And it's also, I get the idea, this is about a guy that runs away from responsibility, and at times he like easily gives up, but then he finds a bit to fight for, then he comes back, but then no, now I find even more to fight for. So there's a bit of a development of the character of Frank Grillo. I really did grow to enjoy his character, his sense of humor. Mel Gibson is fine. Technically anybody could have played this role, because there's really not, other than there's this one story he tells to Naomi Watts about this python that's devouring this boar, and about how he didn't do it, the python didn't do it because of viciousness, he did it to protect and save its own, because it had babies or eggs, and pretty much saying, I do what I can and want to protect what's mine. And he did it a lot better than I am making it sound like. Mel Gibson is good, it's just, there's nothing in it that made me go, oh, I'm glad Mel Gibson played this role. It's more like, oh, I'm glad Mel Gibson's in it. But, I mean, he's fine, but it's not like, I would say I got more out of his villain role in The Expendables 3, sadly. But I'm not saying Mel Gibson's bad, just nice to see him in it. And I just see people maybe being a bit turned off because the first 20 minutes, like, action, 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 and now it's slowed down. If you're not into Frank Grillo's character, where it's him, we find out what's going on the night before, where he met with his ex-wife, Naomi Watts, and this is a guy that's lost his way, and he's getting drunk, and then the first instances of what's going on, and realizing that it's a repeat of the day over and over again, and then him with clues like Osiris that his ex-wife told him about. And there's some fun humor. Like, he's looking at this, and he's like, oh shit, he forgot about the minigun guy in the helicopter, he gets shot. It does play around with that. I thought that was entertaining and some of his bits of humor. I'm not going to give it all away for those who haven't seen it. Or when he's trying to find the right tooth in case he's being trapped. There's a point where he's trying to kill the sword lady, and no matter what he's doing, he keeps getting his head cut off until he's like, fuck this, and he gets Michelle Yeoh to train him with a sword, and then he can do it. That was an entertaining scene. There's again, it has some nice heart to it. He finds his kid who doesn't know that Frank Grillo is the father, but he finds the kid at this video game expo, and they're like, as the days repeat, and he feels like there's nothing he can do, he's going to spend time with his kid, and he's playing video games like Street Fighter. Like, again, there's a lot of this film I enjoyed. I thought it had some nice heart to it, has some nice action bits. Again, some of the CGI was not finessed. There's some stuff I didn't care for, though, and this again, spoilers. Spoilers. The movie's called Boss Level. With the way the story is getting to the third act, it didn't really satisfy me when the movie's called Boss Level and the first fucking scene is a select screen of all the bosses. Like, you have these two guys who are these twins. You don't really see them deal with these guys much and really take care of them that much, like, specifically. This part's where when he gets the teeth tracker out, and then he's leading a couple of them, and then it jump cuts to all the dead bodies. We should have seen them. We should have seen the montage of him killing each one of these assassins and then putting them into the van. That would have been more satisfying. And I thought it would lead up to, because it's called Boss Level, again, spoilers, he finds out that his wife is alive when he wakes up, because he thought, oh, his wife's dead, so that's part of why he's not trying so hard. But now he realized, wait, she is alive. I can make it to her in 17 minutes. What should have happened, in my opinion, because the backtrack, you also get to a point that this machine that's making him repeat, Naomi Watts, the ex-wife, was working on. She knew someone was up, so she took some of his hair, and that made it so that now he's in this loop, because she knew that he'll ultimately try to help save her. But the machine, if it's on too long, this will be end of the world. I don't think you needed that into it. Just the fact that if he wants to save his son and his wife, ex-wife, that's all we needed. We didn't need an end of the world thing. We didn't. We did not need an end of the world shenanigan to be put in there. I thought that was unneeded. It was like one step too far. Like, you put a hat on top of a hat. Not needed. And then, with the way it ends is, he finds out she's alive, kills the assassin when he wakes up, jumps to the helicopter, commandeers it, fly over, land on the building. He gets a minigun, shoots at all the assassins. We don't really see it, just see him shoot with the minigun, and then he goes to the door and there's all the dead bodies down there on the ground. He shoots a couple random people, gets to Will Sasso. Mel Gibson kills them. Is with Naomi Watts. It's alright. Because then Naomi Watts goes, if you enter this machine, that way the world doesn't end. Suppose you're supposed to reset and resume, but you could cease to exist. He's like, oh, okay. He goes to the machine. It cuts. So we don't know, did he cease to exist? Did he make it out okay? I mean, it's a question, you know, you could assume he'll be fine. But yeah, the way that ended, I could deal with it, because kind of like Total Recall 1990. What do I mean by that? Remember the ending of Total Recall? He kisses a girl, but he's worried. Well, he's like, oh, I had a crazy thought. What if this was a dream? Well, you better kiss me before you wake up. So Arnold kisses a girl, but then you have that little bit, is it a dream? Is it not? But you just assume things will be fine. So that's an ambiguous ending, but it's one I could deal with. Same with here. It's an ambiguous ending, but I could deal with. Same with 1990 Total Recall, although that's a better movie than this. But like some ambiguous endings are annoying. This is like, it's not how I would have done it. But the reason I told the ending, against spoilers, because with boss level, it's not really boss level. It's kind of at the end. He got the warp whistle. Remember Super Mario Bros. 3? You get the warp whistle, and then you teleport to the end, bypass all the bosses pretty much, and then you fight Bowser. That's kind of what he did. Is that by the end he got the warp whistle, bypass it all. I think the way it should have been is, okay, I gotta get it to her in 17 minutes. So, boom, he finds a way to defeat all... You know how video games, there's a boss rush? Where you got, like Mega Man or something, where you gotta go through boss after boss after boss after boss, and then make it at the end. I thought this is what it's gonna be. With the title called boss level, the select screen of bosses, it should have been... Okay, he got to go through this boss, this boss, this boss, this boss, this boss, and now he's doing everything perfectly. He goes to this boss, kills these two twins, here's a little munchkin with who's the bomber, boom, puts the bomb on him, he's getting it all, the nick of time, gotta do this in 17 minutes, gets him, boom, makes it, pew. He made it. Same with the girl, does the sword, cuts her head off. He's bloodied, he's bruised, but he's able to make it. Boom. Saves it. Naomi Watts. And then I would say that the funnier bit was that, what do we need to do to shut this off? You're done. That's all it had to be? That's all it took? Yeah. What do you expect? I think that would be funnier. I think that'd be funnier that instead of stepping in this machine and maybe he ceased to exist, that'd be funnier with, it's a shot. You don't feel something a bit, I'm guessing. Ow! What happened? Well, everything's fine now. I think that would be funnier, and it'd be a culmination of going through the boss levels, and he made it, but he's bloodied, he's bruised. He doesn't care about being bloody and bruised as long as he can make it. I don't keep making it, and if I die, I'll set back. Then he makes it. And it's like, no matter what he does, he's going to be bloody and bruised, so he's got to go and push through it. He's gone through all the bosses, the boss rush, the boss level, then, boom, with Naomi Watts, they kiss, they go off to meet the kid, end the movie. So I think the finale, and the way they did it, was just not as satisfying to me as it could have been. I prefer the way I detailed it than the way the movie did it. That's what it seemed like it was going... So I'm like, so it's not really a boss level. Again, it's the warp whistle to the end. And then the way it ends, I'm like, he may cease to exist, he may not. I just would have done it differently in the third act. And so that's why I'm like, It wasn't as satisfying as I thought it would be. Because, like, okay, he kills all the assassins with one minigun. And then when he's killing like all the regular people, why can't he kill all the assassins in this boss rush in the stairway? That'd be thing. They're in the stairway. Oh shit! And then he's like, here's the bomb that guy. Sword cut your head off. And he's going through the stairway of hell where all these assassins are at. I think that would be more satisfying than him just killing these random soldiers of Mel Gibson's. But yeah, that's just how I look at it. That and some of the CGI not being the best, that's my only issues. Other than that, it's a very fun movie. It's an entertaining film. Frank Grillo did a great job as the lead. I think if you like movies that take the semblance of video games, if you like movies like Edge of Tomorrow where they repeat the same day, and it has a good mix of humor and action in it, I think the action in Nobody is better, but this is still pretty decently done action. Michelle Yeoh, nice to see her in there from Super Cop and other Jackie Chan films, as well as, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, among others. Wish she was in it more, but it's nice to see her in there. Again, I like that there's a bit of heart between him. I like Naomi Watts. That was good casting. I liked her as an actress. The kid wasn't annoying or anything, so, him sharing fun video game moments with his kid, and it gave a little bit more meat to Frank Grillo's character. I appreciated that. The song choices were fine. There's some I would have chose differently. Although, funny enough, I don't remember what the songs were. I can't remember the rhythm, but I can't remember the names of the songs. I wish maybe the score, they could have done like a video game type of score, or maybe that wouldn't work, but yeah, something about the score to really fit with the video game motif mentality of it. But yeah, it's a fun movie, and it didn't deserve to be just, Hulu? This is a movie that's completely under the radar. That if I say this, people are like, what's this movie? It didn't deserve that fate. It didn't deserve that at all. I think if you've never seen the film, go check it out. It's a fun film. Yes, even for a guy who's not a big Joe Carnahan fan, it's a fun movie. It's an entertaining film, and Frank Grillo does a really good job. He's the MVP of it. And like I say, it's an entertaining idea. Like, I'm a sucker for that kind of idea. I think it's accomplished fairly well. Like I said, there's some nice bits of humor that, I don't want to give everything away. There's definitely quite a few moments that made me chuckle. Playing out with the repeat. Kind of like you see in Edge. Again, I think Edge of Tomorrow, with the way it ended, that was a bit more satisfying. But this did a good job as well. And yeah, it deserves more eyes on it that it's gotten. I honestly would say I think it's Joe Carnahan's best movie. In my point of view. In my opinion, I think this is his best film. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.